So I seen this on social media the other day, this billboard particularly, and I thought it was a joke at one stage. I didn't think it was actually the Irish government who put this up in Sydney, in Australia. I thought it was a joke, I thought it was a meme. But it actually is true, and they've spent 500,000 euro on it. Now, to put it lightly, five people maybe, not even five people, where they're putting up these billboards. Maybe two people might decide, oh, you know what, I might go home. But long story short, why? Like, I wouldn't mind if the government said, if you come home, we're going to give you 100,000 euro each if you come home to get a house or to put a mortgage down. Or we're going to try and help you out. The government are basically giving nothing. They're just basically saying, come home to build. Like, you build Sydney, now come home and build home. Like, the Irish people in Sydney are working. There's no such thing as sitting on the dole. They have to go out and go to work and stuff and work hard. The Australian government are not going to pay for them to be there. And only rightly so. And any Irish person who's not working in Australia or any country should be sent home, should be deported. No question about that. Because we want our Irish people to go over and work and bust their bollocks. And that's true. We want Irish people to go and bust themselves over there, because that's what you do when you leave this country. You have to do your best. You have to do your best for whatever country you're in. But long story short, this is not going to achieve anything, to get anybody home. And we want to see Irish citizens come home, because the situation in Ireland at the moment is we're bringing in everybody. We're bringing in everybody from Africa, from Asia, from here and there and everywhere. But we're not bringing our own home. It doesn't make any sense. We're bringing everybody else, but we won't bring our own home. And we won't even create a scheme. What I mean by scheme is to encourage them. Say, for example, if one person in Australia was like, oh yeah, I miss my old homeland. I miss my old ma and my old pa. I'd love to go home. I couldn't afford a house. I couldn't afford the wedding in Ireland. But if the government came along and said, we give you 200,000 euro up front if you come home, and you put down a mortgage, or whatever, you pay off a bank loan, for example, to get a house. Maybe somebody would be like, yeah, fair enough, I'll come home. But there's nothing for them. When they come here, they can never afford a house. There's so many Irish people that live here, can't afford the rent, can't afford to pay a mortgage, can't afford the struggle. There's people literally there's one family, take for example, the wife is a nurse and the father's a guard, and they still can't afford to pay for a mortgage. So when you see that, there's something very wrong in this country. But yeah, so the government are spending fucking money on talking shit, pretty much. So that's the nicest way to put it. Because, to be totally honest, if I was in another country after being forced out, because again, every Irish person, they don't want to leave. Like, if we went to the airport now tomorrow morning, Dublin Airport, and we went to the terminal for Australia, for people leaving to go to Australia, New Zealand, except Canada, and we stood there for all day, right? And we asked them, were they ever going to come back, some Irish people, some young Irish people who have their whole futures ahead of them, just to say, whole lives ahead of them, after getting the degrees, big degrees in Ireland, to leave, just to be forced to leave. If we went and asked them if they had an opportunity, if they had some kind of way of getting a house, even to be able to afford, get their foot in the door, what I'm trying to say, even not just giving them a free, I'm not saying we should give people free houses, regardless if they're Irish citizens, whoever they are, but even just to get their foot in the door halfway through, to help them out a bit, to get there. I'm sure every Irish person would say, yeah, I would love to stay. I wouldn't want to go off to a foreign land. I want to stay in my own country, and that's what nearly probably 99.9% people would say. Maybe there might be 1% might say, I'd rather go and travel the world a bit for a few years and then come back, maybe. Fair enough, but majority of people I know from fact here, I haven't left yet, and I don't intend to leave. I mean, the country would collapse before probably I leave, because I'm just determined to stick it out. I'm not going to. I couldn't give a damn by my own future. I'm here to fight for Ireland's future, and that's the thing. And that's what I would say to young people: here to fight for Ireland's future, not for ourselves. We should think about our children, and not about ourselves, because it's all about the children. It's not about us. It's about the next generation, because unfortunately our generation's fucked, but imagine the next generation. It only makes you shudder to think about that. But yeah, this is a load of cockwallop, excuse my language, but that's what it is. I never seen such gaslighting, first of all, to basically say, come home, and there's nothing here for you but to come home anyway. It's just gaslighting at the highest level, and nobody's buying it. No reasonable person would be, because the majority of Irish people, as I say, have been forced out by the government, quite literally a gunfight, while we're bringing everybody else. It makes sense, doesn't it? But madness, it's just madness, and especially because who asked for them to do this? If they had a scheme, they wouldn't need this. That's what I'm trying to say. If they had a scheme, for example, in fairness to Intu, I know we could criticise Intu for different things, But the interview before the election in November last year said about giving people €10,000 to come home, etc. And now that's just a start. €10,000 not nothing pretty much. That wouldn't even cover the cost of coming home probably in the plane nearly, and bringing your bits of luggage, etc. But we should look at it to increase it to 10,000 or to 20,000. I don't think we should go any further than that. 20,000 or so for every Irish man and every Irish woman that comes home to get a house, to try and get someone, or to even just put in the deposit to get a house. Will that ever happen? No. Nice as possible thumbs no, they won't do that. We can dream of it, but the Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael couldn't give a shit about Irish people. And the same with the West, for Sinn Féin, the Labour Party couldn't give a shit. Sinn Féin doesn't believe in property rights, first of all. They believe that the state must own everything. Comrade. But anyway, let me know what you think. In all seriousness, it's just fucking money down the drain. Excuse my language, but maybe 2 people in the whole country, in Canada and Australia and New Zealand, probably be like, yeah, I'll go home. Maybe. But they probably, as soon as they turn up, they'll be like, there's nothing here for me, goodbye again. So yeah, good stuff. Let me know what you think. Subscribe for more and bye.